Welcome to the iRogya Wellness Podcast, your quick guide to a healthier life. In each episode, we'll explore practical tips and insights to help you on your journey to optimal health and well-being. Let's dive in.
Have you ever just, turned on the tap, filled a glass,
Right.
and just expected perfect water?
Right.
Or maybe grabbed a bottled water thinking, this is pure. It's something we all do.
We do. We take it for granted.
We assume the water we drink every day is safe, clean, just fine. But what if that assumption? What if it isn't always the reality?
That's a really, really important question to start with because it's this often overlooked thing, that water quality. Even where we think it's totally safe, in developed areas, it can actually be compromised.
Really? Even here?
Oh, absolutely. The global picture is, it's staggering. Contaminated water leads to widespread health issues, and it affects everyone, everywhere. It's a serious, pervasive problem.
Staggering how?
Well, think about this. The World Health Organization, the WHO, they report something like 829,000 deaths every single year just from diarrheal diseases.
800,000.
Yeah. And the vast majority are directly linked to contaminated drinking water. And here's the kicker. It's not just a problem for, developing countries. This hidden danger isn't far away. We see significant outbreaks, waterborne illnesses happening in the developed world, too. It reminds us contamination is this constant, universal threat.
Nearly 1 million deaths a year just from that one cause related to water. That's devastating. It really hits home. It's not some abstract problem. It could be, potentially, right here. Makes you stop and think, what is actually in my glass?
Exactly.
Okay, so with that sobering thought, let's really unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into water quality, and we're looking at a specific solution, the Puritii Water Filter.
Right.
Our mission here, based on the material you've shared, is to really get under the hood, understand how it works, what it means for your health, maybe your wallet, and, importantly, the planet.
And it's so crucial to grasp this. Clean drinking water isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely fundamental.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. The quality of the water you drink. It impacts almost every system in your body. Your health, your well-being, in ways most people just don't connect back to their water bottle. And that's what we want to shed some light on today.
And that's why this deep dive matters directly to you, the listener. We're not just talking theory here.
No.
We're talking about something that affects your daily life, your health right now, even just your peace of mind. We want to give you practical, useful knowledge.
Information you can actually use.
Exactly. To make informed choices about something so basic, yet so vital.
The undeniable need for clean water, a hidden danger.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Why is clean water so essential? I mean, beyond just not being thirsty, we think hydration, but it's deeper than that, isn't it?
Oh, much deeper. That's the perfect place to start. Water isn't just in our bodies, it's the main component. Like, the vast majority of us is water.
Right.
And it does so many critical jobs. It's like the body's ultimate multitasker. It regulates temperature, through sweating. It transports nutrients and oxygen to every single cell. Everyone. And just as importantly, it carries away waste products.
The body's cleanup crew.
Exactly. Without efficient waste removal, things get toxic fast. So, because water is involved in pretty much everything from how our cells work to how our organs function, its quality has these huge systemic impacts.
Way beyond just hydration.
Way beyond. If the water itself is compromised, then potentially all these intricate bodily processes can be compromised too, sometimes in ways you wouldn't immediately link back to the water.
And when that water is compromised, we're talking about contaminated water. This isn't just about a funny taste, right? This is actual danger.
Precisely. Real danger. Contaminated water means it contains harmful stuff, chemicals, bacteria, parasites, things you definitely don't want inside you.
And drinking it can lead to
a whole spectrum of problems. Immediately, you might get, severe diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, just feeling awful. But it can also cause much more serious diseases. Things like cholera, typhoid, giardiasis, these can be life-threatening.
And where does this contamination even come from?
Unfortunately, it's everywhere. Inadequate sanitation is a big one, raw sewage getting into water sources.
Right.
Then you've got industrial waste full of heavy metals, toxic chemicals, and agricultural runoff, pesticides, fertilizers, washing off fields into rivers and groundwater. It's a chemical cocktail.
That sounds incredibly hard to deal with once it's in the water.
It is. And the consequences, they ripple outwards, don't they? It's not just the immediate sickness or death toll.
Yeah, what about the wider impact? Socially, economically.
Think about it. Kids constantly sick, missing school, That affects education, development, future productivity.
Generations impacted.
Absolutely. Or healthcare systems getting totally swamped by an outbreak like cholera. Resources get diverted, other health needs suffer. It's a domino effect, a cycle of illness, lost potential, and economic strain.
It's a huge burden on communities.
A massive burden. And remember, it's not just humans.
Right.
Yeah.
Ecosystems.
Exactly. Animals, plants, they suffer too when their water is polluted. Fish die-offs, birds getting sick, biodiversity loss. It affects the entire ecosystem's balance. A polluted river isn't just bad for us, it's a dying environment.
Which leads us to this fundamental idea. Safe drinking water is a basic human right.
It is. The UN General Assembly formally recognized it back in 2010, essential for life, essential for all other rights.
Yet millions, maybe billions, still don't have reliable access.
It's a stark reality, a huge global challenge. The gap between the right and the reality is just vast.
So what can be done?
Well, the challenge is huge, but there are solutions emerging. Innovative, accessible ways to bridge that gap.
Like filters.
Exactly. Filters like the Puritii Water Filter. It presents itself as one of those pragmatic, effective solutions, something designed to help individuals, families, communities address that fundamental right themselves, putting the power of clean water directly in their hands.
Introducing the Puritii Water Filter.
Yeah.
Your personal water guardian.
Okay, so given that critical need, let's zoom in on the Puritii Water Filter. For anyone not familiar, what exactly is it? Lay it out for us.
Sure. So the Puritii Filter is essentially a portable water filtration system. It's designed to be really easy to use.
Portable and easy. Okay.
And its core purpose is to remove a whole host of impurities from pretty much any non-saltwater source.
Any source, like tap water, but also...
Yeah, tap water, definitely. But also water from a public fountain, a stream, a river, a natural spring, you name it, as long as it's fresh water.
Wow.
And what makes it stand out is its design. It's really compact, very lightweight.
You can actually carry it around.
Absolutely. Slip it in a backpack for a hike, pack it for international travel.
Yeah.
Keep one in your emergency kit or just have it on your desk at work.
Yeah.
It's designed for that kind of versatility. Pure water, wherever you happen to be.
All right, now for the really interesting part. How does it do that? How does it achieve that level of purity? It's not just a simple strainer, I assume.
No, definitely not. Puritii uses a pretty advanced proprietary two-stage filtration process. That's key.
Stages, okay.
Yeah. It combines activated coconut carbon with specialized zeolite minerals.
Coconut carbon and zeolite minerals.
Right. And what's really neat is the whole thing works without needing any harsh chemicals or electricity.
No chemicals, no power. That's impressive.
It makes it incredibly versatile. And that two-stage approach is really the heart of its effectiveness.
Okay, break that down for us. Stage 1, activated coconut carbon. What's its job?
Right. So activated coconut carbon is kind of like the first line of defense. Think of it as a super sponge, but on a microscopic level.
A super sponge.
Yeah, it has this incredibly vast internal surface area.
Right.
Hundreds of square meters in just 1 gram.
Wow.
And this structure, all these tiny pores, gives it this amazing capacity for adsorption. That's adsorption.
Adsorption, not absorption.
Exactly. Molecules literally stick to the surface of the carbon. It's great at grabbing organic compounds and chemicals.
Like what specifically?
Things like chlorine. You know, that swimming pool taste in tap water?
Yeah, that's
It removes that. Plus, potentially harmful byproducts of chlorine. But also pesticides, herbicides, traces of pharmaceuticals that end up in water.
Pharmaceuticals? Really?
Yeah, from improper disposal and other industrial chemicals. Basically, it acts like a magnet for those unwanted tastes, odors, and hidden chemicals. Pulls them right out.
Okay, that's stage 1. Then you mentioned zeolite minerals. Proprietary ones, what do they do?
The zeolites are fascinating. They handle things carbon might miss, especially heavy metals. Think of zeolites as tiny, natural cages with really specific openings.
Cages?
Yeah, like a microscopic sieve. They have this highly organized crystal structure that traps certain molecules based on size and charge while letting water pass through.
Selective filtering.
Very selective. They're particularly good at grabbing those harmful heavy metals, lead, mercury, arsenic.
Things you really don't want.
Definitely not. These can build up in your body over time, cause serious long-term health issues. Lead, especially, is bad for kids' development. The zeolites act like a precision tool to remove those silent threats.
So it's the combination. The carbon gets the broad stuff, the zeolite targets the specific nasty stuff like heavy metals.
Exactly. It's that synergy.
Yeah.
The activated carbon absorbs a wide range, and the zeolite minerals provide that targeted removal. That's how it achieves such high efficiency.
How high are we talking?
Up to 99.99% removal for a really broad spectrum of contaminants. Bacteria, viruses, lead, mercury, chlorine, pesticides, pharmaceuticals. It's designed to tackle pretty much everything from microbes to chemical residues. A comprehensive shield.
Okay, how does that stack up against other filters people might use, like, say, a basic pitcher filter?
Big difference. Many common filters, like some pitchers or faucet attachments, are much more limited. They might just remove sediment you can see or maybe reduce chlorine taste.
But leave other things behind.
Potentially, yes. Microscopic particles, dissolved chemicals, pathogens they might get through. Puritii is designed to capture things on a much smaller scale and across a wider range. More thorough.
What about something like reverse osmosis, RO systems? They're often seen as top tier.
Good question. RO systems are powerful. They force water through a membrane, remove almost everything dissolved.
What?
But they have drawbacks. They're usually bulky, need professional installation, can be high maintenance.
Right.
And a big one. They often strip out everything, including beneficial minerals our bodies actually need, like calcium and magnesium.
Ah, so they take out the good with the bad.
Often, yes. And they can waste a lot of water in the process. Puritii is different. It's compact, super easy to use, no installation, no wastewater. And crucially, it keeps those beneficial minerals.
It retains the good stuff. That seems really important.
It is, because pure water shouldn't necessarily mean empty water. Our bodies thrive on those essential minerals.
Like electrolytes.
Exactly. Calcium, magnesium, they're vital for nerves, muscles, bone health, tons of bodily functions. Puritii aims for that balance. Remove the harmful, keep the helpful. It's about supporting wellness, not just quenching thirst.
The power of clean drinking water on your health and well-being.
Okay, we've got the tech down. The 2 stages, carbon, zeolite, retaining minerals. But let's shift focus. What does this all actually mean for you for your health day to day?
Right. And this is where it gets really interesting because the impact is surprisingly broad. Drinking clean, purified water consistently, it triggers this cascade of positive effects on your well-being.
A cascade. How so?
Well, it's way beyond just basic hydration, which is obviously key. But when you remove contaminants and keep essential minerals, the water you drink actively helps your body function better. Better detoxification, more efficient cells. It supports the whole system.
Let's get specific. How about digestion? That seems fundamental.
Absolutely fundamental. Improved digestion is often one of the first things people notice. Purified water helps flush toxins out of your digestive tract more effectively.
Like a clean sweep.
Kind of, yeah. It eases the burden on your liver and kidneys. Plus, it helps regulate bowel movements, preventing things like constipation.
Okay.
And crucially, it aids nutrient absorption. When your gut isn't fighting off impurities from bad water, it can absorb vitamins and minerals from your food much better.
So you get more out of your food.
Exactly. But if you drink contaminated water, you risk diarrhea, cramps, nausea, which not only feel terrible, but can actually hinder nutrient absorption long term. It's a foundational support for gut health.
What about skin? You hear people say drink water for good skin. Does purified water make a special difference?
It absolutely can. Think of your skin as reflecting your internal health.
Makes sense.
If you're taking in toxins from water, it can contribute to skin issues, acne, eczema, dullness. Your body tries to eliminate toxins, sometimes through the skin.
Oh.
Purified water reduces that internal toxic load. Plus, proper hydration with clean water keeps skin cells plump and healthy from the inside out. Better elasticity, less dryness, maybe even slower aging.
Like watering a plant with clean water versus dirty water.
That's a great analogy. Your skin needs that clean internal nourishment to look and function its best.
And the immune system. Everyone's focused on immunity these days. What's the clean water connection?
Huge connection. A strong immune system relies on your body being able to efficiently flush out toxins that can weaken its defenses. Clean water is critical for that flushing process.
Right.
But it's also about what's in the purified water, those retained minerals. Calcium, magnesium, potassium. They actually support the health and function of your white blood cells.
The immune system's defenders.
Exactly. So clean, mineral-rich water helps ensure those defenders are well-equipped and energized to fight off infections and diseases. It's not just about avoiding bad stuff, it's about actively supporting your body's natural defenses. Long-term resilience.
Unmatched convenience and accessibility for your lifestyle.
Okay, the health benefits are clear and pretty compelling, but let's talk practicality. You mentioned Puritii, it's portable and easy to use. How much of a game changer is that convenience factor?
Oh, it's huge. That freedom of portability is, Well, it's kind of revolutionary for how we think about accessing clean water day to day.
How so?
These filters are designed to be genuinely portable. Small, light, easy to toss in a backpack, a purse, whatever.
So clean water is always just there.
Pretty much. It gives you this incredible peace of mind no matter where you are.
Give me some examples.
Okay, imagine camping. Instead of lugging gallons of water, you can filter water from a stream.
Right.
Or traveling internationally,
Right.
where you might not trust the tap water. No need to constantly buy expensive, wasteful plastic bottles.
That's a big one for travel.
Huge. Even just running errands, going to the gym, sitting at your desk all day, you just refill your Puritii bottle. No searching for a fountain, no carrying heavy jugs. It adapts to your life.
Whether you're an adventurer or just busy.
Exactly. Spontaneous trips or structured routines, it just fits in.
Oh.
Takes away that background worry about finding safe water.
And is it actually simple to use? No complicated steps.
Dead simple. That's the beauty of it. No manuals, no tools, no electricity.
So how does it work?
You fill the bottle with water tap, river, whatever. Screw on the cap, which has the filter built in.
Yeah.
And that's it. You drink. The filtration happens as you sip.
On demand.
On demand. Even changing the filter is easy. Unscrew the old one, screw in a new one. Take like a minute.
Wow.
And the bottle itself is durable, designed to handle being knocked around a bit.
So it really fits different lifestyles, families, for instance.
Absolutely. Great for families. Ensures safe water for kids who are vulnerable to things like lead. Protects elderly members too. Removes chlorine taste, so kids might even drink more water.
Good point. Travelers.
Ideal for travelers, domestic or international. Takes away the worry about local water, easy to pack, peace of mind is invaluable when you're exploring.
And outdoor types, hikers, campers.
A total game changer for them. Safely drink from streams, lakes. Avoids things like giardia, lightweight, durable. We've practically essential gear now. Reduces how much water they need to carry.
It sounds incredibly versatile, which leads me to think, in our crazy busy world, isn't there real value in just having one less thing to stress about, especially something so basic?
That peace of mind is worth so much, seriously. Knowing your water is safe, easily, reliably, it frees up mental energy, reduces background stress, lets you focus on other things. It's a layer of security that just makes life a little bit easier.
Purita's positive ripple effect, cost savings, and environmental stewardship.
All right, so it's good for your health, super convenient.
Oh.
What about the other impacts? Let's talk money first. Is using a Puritii filter actually cost-effective?
Yes, definitely. When you look at the long run, it saves you significant money
Ah.
by basically eliminating the need to buy bottled water. There's the initial cost of the filter system, sure.
Right, the upfront investment.
But compare that to constantly buying single-use bottles. That cost adds up way faster than people realize.
Do we have any numbers on that?
Yeah, so Americans drink, on average, about 21 gallons of bottled water each per year. In 2023, that cost around $25, $26 per person.
Doesn't sound like a lot individually, maybe.
But multiply that. The whole U.S. bottled water market was almost $9 billion in 2023.
$9 billion. Wow.
It's a huge amount spent, often on just filtered tap water and plastic. Switching to Puritii means that one investment gives you clean water repeatedly instead of paying over and over for disposable bottles. The filter cost spread out is much, much lower.
Okay, clear financial win over time.
Yeah.
What about the environmental angle? That feels just as critical these days.
Absolutely critical. And this is where Puritii makes a really big positive impact. By replacing single-use plastic bottles, it directly tackles the plastic waste crisis.
Which is massive.
It's overwhelming. Billions of plastic bottles end up in landfills and oceans every year. They stick around for centuries, break down into microplastics, harm wildlife. It's grim.
I heard a statistic once.
The one about the garbage truck.
Yeah.
One garbage truck full of plastic dumped into the ocean every minute.
Every minute. That's just hard to comprehend.
It really is. But here's the positive part. One Puritii filter can replace up to 562 single-use bottles before needing replacement.
562 from one filter.
Yeah. Think about that multiplying across users. It's a huge reduction in plastic demand and waste. Plus, the filters themselves are made with eco-friendly materials.
So the product itself is designed sustainable.
That's the aim. And the impact goes beyond just the bottles themselves.
How so?
Well, think about what it takes to make and ship all those plastic bottles. Energy, resources, water. By reducing demand for them, we reduce that entire footprint. Less energy used, fewer resources consumed, lower carbon emissions.
So using Puritii isn't just personal, it's a contribution.
Exactly. It's doing your part for sustainability, a healthier planet. It connects your daily habit of drinking water directly to a larger positive impact.
Practicalities and longevity. Frequently asked questions.
Okay, win for the wallet, win for the planet. Let's nail down some final practical details. People will want to know, how long does one filter cartridge actually last?
Good question. Definitely a common one. So the general guideline is about 2 months of typical daily use.
2 months.
Or, alternatively, after filtering about 60 gallons of water, which is around 227 liters.
Okay, 60 gallons or 2 months, roughly?
Roughly. But that could vary. If your water source is really heavy with sediment, like murky river water, or if you notice the taste changes or the flow slows down sooner.
Trust your senses.
Exactly. It might need changing more often in those cases. It's also smart to just check the filter and bottle now and then for wear, and if you're not using it for a while, store it somewhere cool and dry.
Got it. And just to recap on sources, it handles tap water, well water. Yeah. What about really challenging sources?
Yes, it's designed for that versatility. Tap water, removing chlorine and lead. Well water, tackling potential metals or bacteria. And natural sources like rivers or lakes, removing bacteria like E. coli or Giardia, viruses too.
So pretty robust.
Very robust. Now, if you have extremely hard water, lots of minerals, or super high sediment, you might need to change the filter a bit more often just to keep the flow rate up. But it will still purify effectively.
And we keep saying easy to use, but really, is there any catch? Any learning curve?
Honestly, no. It's designed to be intuitive. Fill the bottle, screw on the cap, drink. That's it.
No priming, no complex steps.
Nope. The filtration happens as you drink. The bottle's durable. Maintenance is just swapping the filter when needed.
And how do you know when it's needed?
Usually you'll notice the water flow slows down. Or maybe a slight change in taste or odor. Those are the main signals. It's pretty straightforward. Built for convenience.
Okay. One last check for building confidence. Has this filter been tested independently by third parties?
Yes, absolutely. That's crucial. Puritii has been tested by independent, accredited labs.
To verify the claims.
Exactly. To ensure it meets or even exceeds industry standards for water filtration. So those removal percentages, like the 99.99%, aren't just marketing. They're backed by objective scientific testing. It adds that extra layer of trust. Outro.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive. We started with the really critical need for clean water globally, something maybe we take for granted. Then we got into the nuts and bolts of the Puritii filter, that two-stage tech, the carbon, the zeolite.
Right, how it actually works.
We explored the health benefits from digestion to immunity, the sheer convenience of having it anywhere, anytime.
The practical side.
And finally, the positive ripples, saving money compared to bottled water and making a real dent in plastic waste for the sake of the planet.
Yeah, connecting all those pieces really shows the bigger picture. Puritii comes across as this comprehensive solution.
Empowering, you could say.
Definitely empowering. It lets you take direct control over something fundamental, the quality of your water, your well-being. And at the same time, you're making a genuinely positive environmental choice. It's more than just a filter.
It's like a holistic approach.
Exactly. A holistic approach to a healthier life and a healthier planet, ensuring that basic necessity is safe and accessible.
It really is a compelling combination, which leaves us and you, the listener, with a thought to chew on. As we face growing concerns about resources, about our environmental impact, about global health, how might these kinds of innovations, smart yet simple solutions like Puritii, how might they really shape our daily habits, our choices, and ultimately our collective future?
That's a powerful question to end on.
Something to think about. The small changes we make today really can influence the world we live in tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to the Gaia Wellness Podcast. Remember, small steps lead to big changes. If you're curious about the products we mentioned today, you can find them all at irogaia.com. That's AIROGYA.com. And hey, use the code IROGYA15 at checkout for a 15% off discount. Please note that the code is not applicable for Europe, some parts of the Middle East, and South Africa. Until next time, keep taking those steps towards a healthier you.